So today's Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. It's a hump day, and it's a rainy day. Last night we had some downpour, not that much serious, but I'm sure there was like a one or two fatalities throughout the nation, but that's okay. I'm safe, and I'm leaving for Tianjin, China tomorrow. So on a tour, personal tour, I will be there as a tourist and explore some areas, but most of the times I will just relax, right? It's my tour. I used to work a lot in China when I traveled there, but this time I'm gonna just relax much more, see how it goes. In Chinese it says 看起来 看帮我 what's the I forgot the word, but about the China, Chinese people seem to buy Japanese temples. That's interesting. I've never heard about it, but if they want, they should buy Korean temples in Korea, because many Buddhist temples are now vacant, empty, because not many monks are being recruited into the Buddhism anymore, because many people are enlightened by the smartphones and the smart gadgets. They get all the information they want or they need from the internet, and they get a little bit enlightened. So not many people are volunteering to become a Buddhist monk these days. So I'm sure wherever you go, you will find some empty temples, like in China, Korea, Japan, Thailand, or maybe even in America, you will see empty temples. So let's read this article to practice English and to also understand why Chinese people are buying up Japanese temples, and what kind of insight we can draw from the knowledge. Why are some Chinese investors buying Japanese temples? Right? When you think of Japanese temple, you probably imagine centuries of history, quiet gardens, and monks preserving ancient traditions. But what if I told you that some temples are now being quietly bought and sold? And according to brokers interviewed by Reuters, interest from some Chinese buyers has grown significantly. At first, I thought, why would anyone buy a temple? It turns out the answer isn't always religion. Japan has thousands of temples and shrines facing a serious problem. The population is shrinking. Many monks are aging. Some temples have no successor. As donations decline, owners are left with expensive buildings they can no longer maintain. The population is shrinking. Many monks are aging, right? No new monks. That's a trend, I think, throughout the nation or throughout the world. Some temples have no successor. Exactly. If you come to Korea, you will become a monk and you will live comfortably forever, right? But you have to eat the vegetables and no sex with women. But that's okay. You just can sneak out in the night or during the weekend and eat whatever you want, drink alcohol, and have sex with women. That sometimes happens in Korea. And also you can play poker with all the salary you can get from the temple. That has created a market where religious corporations can be bought and sold. According to Japanese authorities, The concern is that some buyers are interested less in Buddhism and more in the legal status that comes with owning a religious corporation. A similar situation in Korea, right? If you give a birth to your children as a foreigner and the children grow up to be like 24 years old, you can stay until they hit the age 24, and by the time they can apply for Korean citizenship, or at least you are entitled to stay here forever on a permanent visa basis, right? So you can have your own business in Korea. You can, for example, you can have chuko or ruko business, that's import and export business with your country. You can be a tycoon, man. Authorities worry these organizations could be misused for tax advantages or even money laundering. The issue isn't simply that foreigners are buying temples. Many foreign investors operate legitimate businesses in Japan. The concern is whether some buyers see temples as financial assets rather than places of worship. Exactly. In Korea, I think buying a Korean temple is kind of a good investment. For financial and for legal issues, your children can have Korean citizenship or at least permanent residency, and you as a parent also can have the similar privileges. So if you want, let me know, right? I'll look for some temples for you. I work for Korea's biggest telecom carrier, but I'm also a licensed tour guide, so that I could work with you for monetary reason, right? Or I don't know. You suggest what advantages I would have. The concern is whether some buyers see temples as financial assets rather than places of worship. There have already been controversial cases where temples were demolished them for redevelopment or converted into non-religious uses, sparking public debate about preserving Japan's cultural heritage. What do you think? Well, in Korea, some temples are quite old and famous and popular, but other temples are small. They are perched in the mountain hills. They are far away from the civilization, but reachable by car and by bus. So don't worry, you can buy a small temple and you'd be okay. Should Japan place a stricter, and you can convert them into, motel or some place to stay, or maybe your study room, right? Should Japan place stricter controls on who can purchase religious corporations? No. They should allow Japanese or Chinese buy their temples, because otherwise the temples go empty for 50 years, 100 years. Japanese population is on the decline, right? Why are some Chinese investors buying a Japanese temples? Because they want to launder money. Second, they want to buy it as a financial investment. And third, probably they would get some visa relief. That's a legal issue. And fourth, maybe they could flee their own country as a criminal and stay in a Japanese temple which they bought and avoid arrest and investigation, so they would be safe. Or fifth, they would use the temple as a redevelopment project and demolish it and build a motel, hotel, restaurant, some place to stay. Fifth, sixth, they could use it as a second home for their concubine, for their marriage, extramarital partner, right? So from this article, I noticed no strange or interesting words, but I totally agree with this article that Chinese should buy Korean temples, and if they really are interested, 感兴趣，如果你有感兴趣对卖韩国的事告诉我。Please let me know when you are interested in buying Korean temples. Right? Thanks for listening. Have a great day.